Thank you so much. My name's Christy Augustine. I'm the Chief Operating Officer at Bloomreach, and really appreciate you joining us today for Edge. Today, I'm here to talk about Clarity, our conversational shopping assistant that you just saw in the video. So as Raj discussed earlier, conversation is key to the new agentic world. It's the expectation that customers have already moved to. I'm sure many of you have already moved to that expectation with ChatGPT. And it's also a huge opportunity for brands to drive revenue through a highly personalized experience for shoppers. For example, in the video we just watched, our shopper was asking ChatGPT to help find a jacket for a trip to Seattle. So ChatGPT linked to the website of our brand Pacific Apparel, where he looked for a jacket but wasn't quite sold. So before he could even put in a new search, Clarity's conversation was triggered, just kind of like you would expect a shopping assistant in a store to just notice where that customer is at. It understood that he was a returning customer, what product had been viewed and not added to cart, which meant he probably could use some help. So later, Clarity understood the segment of that customer. What's that customer like? What price point does that customer shop at? What's been viewed so that those results are even more personalized the next time that he's searching. It's this ability to not only engage, but to engage when and where it's needed most for each individual customer. And that's what I think sets Clarity apart. And it's what allows the brands using Clarity to unlock a new, incredibly dynamic customer experience, one that's ready for the new agentic era. No one understands that better than Satish Tatini, VP of Digital and Data at VF Corp, which owns Vans, The North Face, Timberland, a bunch of other brands that you love and know. So, VF Corp has been a longtime customer of Bloomreach Discovery Search Merchandising Personalization Platform. And when we were at Edge last year, we unveiled Clarity being live, and VF said, let's do this now, with an incredibly fast time frame that we ended up meeting both teams. And so really excited for Satish to have a conversation with us and talk about Clarity. So welcome and thanks for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you for being here.
So I am really excited. I mean, one of my favorite parts of the job is I get to work with so many of our customers. And I think that Satish is on the very innovative side. So as I get to talk to you all the time about e-commerce and what's coming, it's a privilege to get to talk to you. And we were just joking that VF Corp isn't on the edge. We think they already went over the edge. So you guys get to see what the landing looks like from the video and from Raj's talk. So you've been, if we go back even a year or two ago, you've been innovating in product search discovery for a while. So even before conversational AI became as big of a topic as it is now, you guys started to see shifts in your consumer behavior and the patterns that you were seeing. So tell me a little bit about what kind of shifts you were already noticing that caused you to think, you know what, maybe I need to be investing in a different customer experience.
Oh, great question. Before we start, thank you for having me here. And it's great to be part of this journey with you and with everyone in this room. I wish we have a cool video like Greg put out, but we'll try to keep up.
It's okay. We have shoes on. I really like your red Vans, so that's better.
I'm beating your color right now. So yes. So let's zoom out, right? So I've been with retail, with consumer-facing industry, consumer goods, and commerce for a while. 25 plus years, right? So this space has evolved quite a bit. Yeah. We started with everyone knows, it's like me preaching to the choir here, it's keyword searches, specific words we match with product titles. Then we extended it to match with product descriptions. Then it became phrases. Then, I mean, let's fast forward to now, right? So it's Now it's all about intent. Like, what are you trying to buy before? I mean, we trained our consumers with our product titles, with brand names, with specific styles. Now consumers come to us and say, hey, I'm trying to buy a rain jacket like you guys showed, right? And then we respond with more detail, like, is it weather? Is it cold rain jacket? So yes, quite a bit of shift in what they're searching for. A lot of intent was added, and we're trying to understand the intent. And more recently, we're adding the personalization component. Do we know the consumer enough to build around that intent? So, I mean, this part is table stakes for every one of you. You have seen this real time. We all experienced it from the last 20 years, keyword searches to semantic searches to now phrases, now full-on conversations, right? Yeah, I mean, like Christy said, we're experimenting quite a bit in this space. Are we over the edge? Maybe. We're hoping for a soft landing. Let's see.
Absolutely. I mean, you have a very tech-savvy demographic. You have a very creative demographic. But despite that, I mean, really, we were sitting at Edge last year. You said, okay, I've seen Clarity. I want to do it. We're going to do a completely different digital experience. We're going to reinvent everything. But, you know, that really, that can be really kind of intimidating to do at first. When you looked at that and said, you're going to do a completely different digital experience, what did you see as the benefits to the consumer, to your customers, that enabled you to say, okay, we're going to do this?
Yeah, I mean, I should credit our brands for it. I mean, Vans is on the forefront. Vans consumers are digitally savvy. They're blending culture, heritage with the new styles, right? So this was prompted actually not by tech, not by the digital team. It's prompted by the brand itself. Like, hey, how do we engage with our consumer better? We want to have conversations with them. We want to see where they're taking their experiences with. So it's just a coincidence, I would say. So that's where Vans wants to go, and that's when we started talking with you guys. And you said, let's experiment. Let's see where this takes us. So that's what kicked us off, right? So that's where we went into, I mean, we weren't thinking conversational shopping as such. It's more engaging our consumers better, building bigger and longer experiences with our consumers. And that evolved into a conversation for us. So did I answer your question?
Yeah.
No, I went on rambling.
Very on brand, I think, with Vans and all of the VF brands of we want to engage with our consumers. We want to build those stories. We want to build those experiences with our customers. And it's just very difficult to do when you're maybe putting 2 words into a search box, or maybe you're clicking on products. You're not really having that dialogue and conversation with customers. And so very much, I think some of the conversations we had, the confidence to go forward is this is the customer signal. This is what they were looking for. When in doubt, yes, it's an IT project, it's a tech project, but the consumers are looking and asking for it. So there are probably, there are many people actually that I've been talking to, and this has changed very quickly over the last year. When we talked about going live with Clarity, I mean, I don't even think Rufus was live on Amazon. You didn't find conversational shopping anywhere. The conversations really got to, I'm not really sure my data's ready. I'm not really sure if my consumer's ready. What gave you the confidence to kind of lean in and move forward when a lot of the industry was hesitating at the time?
Yeah, I mean, this one for us started with a problem to solve, right? Our consumers know our products very well. So we have a locked-in set of consumers, but how do we engage the rest of the population, right? So it's not just another tech button we are adding to our site and see if everybody clicks on it. It's what problem are we solving? We're trying to solve consumer engagement. How do we engage with our consumers, and how do we show them our broad spectrum of products and what they do? Our consumers are very technical, not digital technical, but product technical. They look at specific things in our products. Between Vans consumers, the North Face consumers are even more technical, and the Timberland consumers, the Timberland team is here, they can speak better than I can. They know the heritage part of the Timberland products. So that's where we wanted to engage our consumers with the style, with the heritage, with the story. And that's only possible when we have a conversation type of interface. It's not possible just to do a search and build a product listing page with a list of products. It has to be a to and fro, a two-way conversation. It has to mimic almost a retail experience. Yes, we all like to go shop in a store, but yeah, I mean, if we solve the traffic and parking problems, but we all want to shop in a store, but we all don't want to engage with a store associate. That's because the store associate does not know us enough. What this solves is that problem, right? We can have the conversational agent know enough about the consumer that comes to the site, build the whole personalization around it, and have a meaningful conversation. So that's the idea that drove us here. It's like, hey, there's so much possibility. It's an all-knowing store associate on the site. It's not just, store associate is not just talking about the product, it can also talk about you as a consumer because we know what you shopped for before. We know what you browsed for. So we blend all that experience into one and have that to and fro conversation. So that made it easy for us to jump into this at first. Like, hey, this is, yes, I mean, we don't know where this is heading. We don't know if the consumer will engage, but we're like, let's learn. There's a lot of learning. When Vance went in March, I believe, yeah. Right? And it has its set of challenges. I'll be clear, right? The technology is very cool, but consumers not engaging. It has its own set of challenges. That's the problem we need to solve now. How do we build an experience where the consumer engages with it more often? And then we took the next version with Timberland. You can all pull up the Timberland website. We're trying to build that experience. We continue to evolve, right? So it's showing promise. The product is doing its thing. I think where we need to spend more time is build that experience with the product, with the consumer on a small factor phone. That's the challenge to solve.
How do you get more customers engaged? Satish, oh my gosh, it's like, no, the next question. I think that, so definitely play with it, go on Vans, go on Timberland, play with if you do buy something, right? Was that what you were going to say next?
You can buy exactly these current cables.
You can buy the white ones, you can buy the red ones, you can buy the Timberland boots. I heard the team's here if you have questions. Want to talk about the impact that we've seen. You've talked a lot about customers, consumers, building the relationship with them. I love the fact that, Clarity is like your most knowledgeable store associate. Not only do they know the best of details on the product, but they know as much about your consumers as possible. One of my favorite ones, I think, is this voice of the customer that you're getting. So you mentioned, we need to work, we need to iterate on the technology, but as we were talking about Timberland, your product detail pages only have so much real estate. But the Timberland customers really wanted to know how much those boots weigh. And until we got those transcripts and got to see the conversations and have customers tell us for once, and have a conversation with us, we didn't know necessarily that how much those boots weigh. That couldn't be on the product detail page. How do we have that conversation? It makes sense. If you're going on a hike, you want as lightweight of a shoe as possible. So I think, from an impact perspective, we think a lot about engagement and revenue, but that voice of the customer being super impactful to your brand and your business is equally important. What kind of impact do you feel that the team has seen with putting Clarity on the site?
Yeah, this is where my second hat comes in, data, right? We're collecting an incredible amount of data across all these touch points. And Clarity is one of them, the conversational shopping assistant. We're collecting data from search. We're collecting data from the pixels that run on the site. And we have so many platforms that collecting the consumer, and it's micro-segmenting those consumers. So yes, you're right. If we have our brands, we do have a running brand as well, and guess at this point. I guess we say runners really care about the weight of their shoe. But the people who are wearing their shoes like Vans and Timberland, probably Vanessa might correct me here, they don't care as much as the weight of the shoe. So we don't put that on the product display pages. But where the conversational shopping assistant can help us, or does help us now, is it sees all the data, the whole product attribution, right? Not just the specific attributes we put on the site. It sees the entire product attribution. It sees the previous conversations. It sees the pixel data it's collecting throughout the journey, the personalization aspect of it, and it can answer questions across that spectrum. Where we want to take it further is collect that other consumer data from reviews and other transactions and bring that together. So yes, the possibilities are endless if we can solve the experience side of it, right? So because 80% of our consumers still use the phone form factor, so not the whole data fits in that screen. But we still want to upsell them. We still want to sell them other products. So we had to put that on the same script form factor, have that conversation, and make that conversation fast, right? We're all a little nervous if it's going to add some friction to the checkout process. But if we can take that friction out and make it more visual, when we say conversational, it's not necessarily words and sentences, it's more a visual conversation. We had to build that visual experience into the platform where they can just tap, 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 and check out. But it's actually a two-way conversation. So the data is there, we are collecting the data. We need your help to put that together. Yes, we'll do the heavy lifting of building that consumer profile and the different consumer profiles from that data. But this is going to evolve pretty fast.
I love it. Ask for my help on stage. Good move, Satish. Whoever wants to be on stage next year. So, I heard a couple things. If you're getting started, really, one, you're already started, so you're collecting data. So whoever is moving first is collecting the most data about their consumers. You talked about iterating and testing as far as really, once this goes live, you're not done. You're continuing to evolve. We only have time for one more question, and this is what I always love talking to you about, so I'm going to end with it. What do you think the future of conversational shopping looks like? What's your crystal ball? What's the future? Where's this headed?
I think Raj probably already answered it, but I take it with a two-part answer, right? It's two lenses. One is the tech part of it. Yes, I think everything's becoming agentic, but it's not the Q&A kind of agentic, in my opinion. It's my personal opinion. I don't think it's evolving into a Q&A. We type long sentences into the phone, get long paragraphs of answers. I don't think, yes, it's cool right now, but I think it can become more visual. Prompts, a lot of conversation starters, and then a lot of pictures. I think it's that kind of to and fro that will happen. The second part of the question is my line of work. I'm in fashion and lifestyle. And where is this going? Conversational shopping is you have your own personal stylist in your pocket. You can ask that stylist any question about what you're going to do, whether you're at edge in this room or at the beach outside. The stylist is ready to answer. This is what you can run. I think that's where we're heading. And the stylist is also all-knowing, right? It knows you. It knows what you have done before. It knows what's in your closet, so it can build upon it. And it knows what's trending. It knows how the weather is outside. And builds a curated recommendation for you based on all these 1,000 dimensions, maybe multiple thousands. So it's overwhelming. It's good anxiety, I believe, I would think. So I can't wait. So
I can't wait either.
Yeah.
I'd love to continue the conversation because you have so many thoughts on where things are headed. So if you find Satish, you can pick his brain the rest of the day. Could you please all join me in giving Satish a round of applause?